Hello, I'm Fei Kwan and you're tuned into It's About Youth, where we're speaking to Malaysia's younger generation on the issues that matter to them. World Rivers Day falls on September 24th. It's a day to celebrate our world's waterways, but many of them still face several challenges, including that of pollution. And Malaysia is no exception, with only half of our rivers classified as clean. Joining me on the show to speak about this further is Ameyra Hashim, the Environment and Sustainability Advocate of Kelab Belia Prihatin, Malaysia, as well as Muhammad Aiman Akmal Shahhiran, a representative of Water Warriors. Welcome to the show, and thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Now, Aiman, I've mentioned a little bit just now about pollution, but perhaps you could tell us a bit more. What are the primary threats to our rivers and freshwater ecosystems in Malaysia?
Okay, basically when we talk on, by the way, thank you for Astro for inviting us.
Pleasure to have you here.
Right, when we speak about threats on rivers, we should actually adhere to the primary threat is all comes from human actually. It's usually associated with human activities. So one of the factors that can be is the primary threats for rivers is because of the increasing population of humans. Actually, there's like an estimated about 50% of world rainforests have been cleared due to population explosions. So we can see that when a certain population increase, then it would mean that more forests have to be cleared.
Yeah.
So by that time when that happens, so more lands has become like being taken down. So that to make way for concrete jungle, to build more houses, to build more buildings, and then it's gonna be like it's like invasive to the environment. Then and then second thing is because humans is they involve like activities like washings, all that kind of household activities that will involve in using water. So basically when people reside near the river area, so it will involve like those kind of like household activities which can increase the risk of river pollutions. So that's why when increase in population of humans could be a threat to the river actually. So and then second thing is another primary threat is rapid urbanization and industrialization. Actually, we think that modernization is something that is good because it helps to make humans thrive in this world. But actually, if we look at closely, actually it's kind of like disrupt the balance of the world because it's going to destroy the forest as a main way to make way for that urbanization. So when it happens, then more concrete will cover the surface area, and then it's explicitly when rainwater falls on the ground, it cannot get directly into the river, but instead it's going to stay on the concrete, and then it's going to cause flash floods. That's what we see happens in Kuala Lumpur actually.
Very often.
Very often,
fact. So human activities are the biggest threat. It's all our fault, basically.
Yeah.
What sort of unique ecosystems or biodiversity is supported by our rivers? And maybe you could tell us a little bit how conservation efforts are tailored towards that.
Okay, sure. I think I'm not going to go far because is actually a university that has its own forest. So that means it has its own biodiversity, right? So in itself, it has like sungai, anak air batu, sungai pantai actually, that's all emerged into the Sungai Kelang. But so basically around the area, I observe like there's like catfish, there's like fish like tilapia, and then snakehead fish, and for the insect part, there's like dragonflies, there's nymph, and then even like fruit flies. And then for the plants, there's like water spinach inside the river. There's all forms of life that have like thrive in the riverside. So basically, when we talk about conservative conservation activities, we should actually look at the components that we need to adhere is to do something that is not have significant change to the nature. Actually, we need to maintain the naturality of the river. So, for example, like if there's like because some rivers is inside urban areas, so we'll see like rubbish everywhere. So the conservation part should be like we need to clear that rubbish from the riversides so that it does not impact the river, and then we can like sustain the river as the river itself, so to become a natural, like if it's not in urban area like that. Yeah. So yeah.
To add on to his point,
Yeah, sure.
so I think because Kelab Prihatin, we go around Malaysia. For example, Penang, we go to Klang, Johor to menanam mangrove, to planted the mangrove tree, to avoid the to prepare all the waste is not come to
To
our
prevent
land.
it from flowing out.
Yeah, to prevent them from. So, for example, in Sungai Klang, we have from Mid Valley to Port Klang, we have interceptor, right? We have the interceptor 002 and 005, which is we collected all the waste. And 005 was sponsored by Coldplay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then this interceptor was given by the ocean cleanup. So it's until today, both of interceptors already collecting about 845 metric tons. It's equal to KL Twin Tower Petronas is about 300,000 tons. The weight is about that.
Right.
And we can even have a third tower for that with our waste
Just
in
filled with
Sungai
rubbish.
Klang.
Wow, okay, so
Yeah.
that just shows the extent of
Yeah.
the waste and the
Yeah.
level of pollution in
Yeah.
our rivers. And this is just in Klang River.
Yes, Klang
right?
River.
Klang River
Yeah.
alone, not other rivers around Malaysia. But actually, back to Water Warriors, because it's an initiative, right, to help revive the water bodies around campus, just starting around and I understand, Aiman, that you are a representative of Water Warriors, but you were also a winner from the
One of
Kita
the
Jaga
winners.
Air
Yeah.
campaign.
That's right.
Could you tell us a little bit more about the importance or the impacts of having such initiatives like that to clean our rivers?
Okay, sure. I think that most people, most of the public is much oblivious of the importance of rivers to maintain the rivers actually. So in order for that, we want to nurture the awareness within the public. We need to first let them know what we should care about the river, what we should care about the river, and how we want to do it, how we want to implement it. So that's why when I joined the Kita Jaga Air Challenge, it is a good initiative actually. I believe that to me personally, I would think that Kita Jaga Air Challenge is like a holistic approach, because it's not like we just giving like deliver knowledge to the publics, but also we demonstrate how we do it. So Kita Jaga Air Challenge really encompass about gotong royong, seminars to deliver the knowledge, and then as well as repairing session were also included in the KJSC challenge. Yeah, so that's why because when we see that certain organizations, they just like make awareness program by having only one particular components, like having only seminars, or maybe like having only one activities like that. So but it's good, it's beneficial, but it's not. I believe that it's not a holistic approach, because we need to make not just why they have to know that, but how to do it as well.
Yeah, raising awareness is important, but
Yes.
to be able to teach people to put their words into actions,
Yes.
right, and to
Yeah,
go
that's
onto the
right.
ground, that's even more important.
Yeah.
Well then, what is really stopping people from adopting these sustainability practices? As we see, the pollution is so the pollution is, there's so much pollution right now in our rivers. So what's really stopping people from going onto the ground and protecting our waterways? Ameyra?
Okay, for me, in Kelab Prihatin, we have our hashtag Tumbuh Bersama. So we win that hashtag to bring all the youth, especially we have been collaborate with University in Sabah to tanam pokok buah-buahan, something like that, around Tabika Perpaduan. So we already planted about more than 100 fruits plant. And then we also collaborate with University in Penang to planted all the mangrove at the mangrove area with student from Penang and include all the other bodies such as BEM Pembangunan, Standard Chartered. We collaborate with all the corporate level to involve with us. It's not we are alone to do everything. Yeah.
But then what's stopping, say, beyond NGOs and such, the normal person on the ground, what's stopping us, what's stopping people from coming to clean the rivers? Is it lack of awareness still?
We lack of awareness on this because some youth, they are really not into all the dirty things because nowadays they are more into play games, right? So we need, especially youth from university are really involved with us because they need like certificate to get to stay in area, so they don't have to sewa rumah kat luar, so they can stay at campus area. So they will involve with us with certificate. So most of them. So I think that's bring all the youth together with us.
Can I add on that point?
Yeah, sure.
I agree with what Ameyra said on the awareness part. But I think apart from the awareness, actually, maybe the extra part is because of less channel given. There's like less channel outside there for the public itself to go to do like that sort of cleaning rivers activities. So because I believe that cleaning rivers is something that is not activities that made by the NGO is not something that is happening all year round. It happens like at certain times, at certain month of the maybe probably because this next week is going to be the World's River Days. So it's going to be like during that time maybe there will be like lots of activities for the clean of rivers. But that's only that time, so period. So at other parts they might not have that channel opportunity to do cleaning. Because when we talk about cleaning the rivers, it's going to be like involving a big sector, right, of the rivers. So if only one person or a family just clear one side, it's going to be like other parts as well. So and then if only one part is clean, the rest, the rubbish from other parts going to go to that part again and going to cause pollution again. So I would think that because this kind of like activities should be like something that is maybe like should be should be like frequent as it can, so that people that have that intention to clean the rivers, by the time that they want it, they can just like come to the NGO and then they just can the NGO can like channel to what they could do to make that possible.
So river cleanup should be an effort year-round, not just when it comes to World River Day. And you said university students collaborate a lot with Kelab Belia Prihatin. Youths have a really big role to play, especially when we are facing all these climate change impacts. What role then can educational institutions such as Aiman, maybe you can take this. What role do universities play to educate our communities and teach them about the importance of conserving our waterways?
I think I could not agree more with what have been done by the Sustainable and Development Center, which is, as I explained just now, by organizing Kita Jaga Air Challenge, which is has been taken the first time last year. And it's a good initiative by as well as Selangor actually. They are collaboration between those two. This kind of activities is actually important for to implement the importance of a river in every level, especially the early level, like the student, right?
Yep.
So they really have taken the initiative to provide seminars, free seminars actually. The Kita Jaga Excellence challenge is a free challenge. So they provide like seminars where we can come and then they deliver the knowledge. They provide how to preserve the river. Do you know what's the water bodies around you? Then it will make the students to explore what is it the water bodies near us. I do not know the name of the rivers in the UM actually, because I know the big river there, but then I do not know the streams inside there. Well, basically they are different actually. Yeah, once there are like Sungai Air Batu, and then there's Sungai Pantai, and there's as well a clear, crystal clear river in the Rimba Ilmu. So it's very like enlightening to know this.
So crystal clear river.
Yeah,
so
very clean. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think one of the I've been like come to the, because I joined the challenge, so I've come to the trip. There's like a trip to the Rimba Ilmu, and they say that that river is one of the most clear river in Malaysia, basically. Yeah. So that's what have been done during the Kita Jaga challenge. Besides, they also got like repair demonstrations on how to repair leaking pipes like that. So it also helps in preserving the water actually. And then basically gotong royong itself near the river. We even get into the river and then clean inside that. Yeah, it's like the river is like with knees high. So we just like take whatever rubbish inside there and then put inside the bags, and then basically we do like that. So it's basically that's a good initiative that's being taken by UM and Selangor itself. So that other than creating awareness, so we know how to do what can we contribute to provide a clean river for the future generation. Yeah.
And beyond awareness, it's about fostering that shared sense of responsibility,
Yes,
right?
that's
That it's
right.
all, like you said, because humans have contributed to the pollution, it's also our
We have
responsibility to
to,
clean it up.
Okay, to talk about the responsibility, for me personally, I'm not only involved with NGOs.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm involved with NGOs. At personal level, I always bring, I'm a kind of like aunties yang ada banyak anak buah
Niece and
semua kan. I
nephews,
bring my
okay.
niece and nephews and bring them together. So about 4 to 8 years old come together and planted our mangrove and teach them how to save this mangrove, something like that. So I always bring them together and to teach them from young age, so that they have that interest when they be in university, because they will think that I've been there before at 6 years old before. So now I want to do this as a young adult, something like that.
That brings me to my next question actually. What can communities do their part to protect and revive our rivers? So one of them would be inviting
one of
your
them, family members together. It's not only that me myself do all the things. We must teach them from high school level, tadika level, still learning what is this, what is that, because they may take that opportunity to share with their friends in school.
And starting from young.
Yeah.
Aiman, is there anything you'd like to add on regarding this? How can communities play their role to help protect and revive our rivers?
I think it's a big topic actually, because I think there'll be lots of things that the communities can do. I would like to say that the community has to take an active role in which they could be the scientist citizen. This like the words that I would like to use, because it's like we know that it's true that government is protecting the river. I mean, like have the power on that river, but they're not always there to look on the river, right? So basically, communities itself needs to take the active role to become the scientists. I mean, like scientist citizens to monitor the river, and basically they can like have there's like 3 ways in monitoring. The first is going to be like physical monitoring. Physical monitoring is going to be like they go there and then look for any like is there any rubbish or any like suspicious behavior like waste dumping or whatever, and then they could take photos maybe and then report it to the authorities, or and then they could like use their sensors. Other than that, other than their eyes, they use nose, whether they smells any like unpleasant smells due to waste dumping, whatever. So that's going to be the physical monitor that they could use. And then besides that, they could also like look at the biological environment there, because we know that every river has their own like biodiversity. So it's going to be consisting of the natural habitats, like I said just now, the fish, plants, and the insects. But we notice that actually we should notice that when pollution occurs, actually some of the animals has gone actually. And it is replaced by invasive species like houseflies. So houseflies is something that is not naturally occurring inside the forest.
I see.
Yeah, because usually it's like there's flies, but it's not like houseflies inside our in our house like that. So and then the presence of dragonflies. Dragonflies is a very good indicator for good river. I mean, like indicator for good river.
I see.
Yeah, clean river.
Right.
If there is like no dragonflies, then that would means there is something wrong. Yeah. So it's going to be like an indication that the river is polluted. Yeah, something like that. So they could adopt that ways to monitor the river, and then besides of that, they could also like monitor using pH meter that we can buy from anywhere of the store. Right? And then if there's like something that is wrong, they could go to authorities and then and then just basically inform the authorities. Yeah.
Take matters into our own hands and monitor our rivers ourselves as well. But lastly, that's on the community, that's our part. But I'd like to talk a little bit about from a policy perspective. What do you guys think are the most urgent changes that need to be implemented to ensure a more sustainable future for our water bodies, especially like factors that we've mentioned? We've talked a lot about pollution, we've touched on climate change and growing human demands and development. What sort of policy changes would you like to see, Ameyra?
Okay, basically, in terms of policy changes, we have so many policies in Malaysia, but we not really take action on that. We most likely we have an awareness. We do this policy and what's not, and one of it we have Paris Agreement. Yeah, and then we also has national policy climate change, and a national river care, so which is sustainable river basins, management ecosystem, something like that. But we are still far away from this policy. Other country already taken an action, but I think we're not really into it. I'm not sure. Maybe you can add on this.
Okay, sure. I think I would like to see it. Yes, I agree with Ameyra that Malaysia has many policies that protecting the river actually, but there's lack of it, because even though the policy being implemented, but we don't see it enforced into the in Malaysia.
In a grassroots level, we didn't see it.
And the importance of monitoring all that as well.
So maybe like my recommendation would be like suggestions that in regards to the river basin itself, because I think government should like specify make strict regulations on development, because you know that Kuala Lumpur is like a very heavy development. So we know that it become flash floods. Flash floods can happen when there's like heavy rainfall. So that's due to because of the concrete itself, because of lots of development here and there we see, and then there's like less grounds, because when there's like ground, so rainfall, when it falls on the ground, it's gonna seep into the ground and then it's gonna channels into the river. But because there's no
It's just
ground,
concrete.
so it's gonna be like the water just stays on top. You get like close fish like. So I will say that I would suggest that government should play roles in specify a strict regulation on development, so that an area do not become so congested with buildings, so that and basically there would be like make way for some forests, maybe like open ground for better river preservation. And then second things, I would say that we should have like an integrated water resources management. This platform, this is the form of this is something that is being implemented in San Diego, for example, and they have seen like good benefits have been imposed on their country. So it's like having, because it integrated water resource, so it's the water resources were managed by an integrated one sectors. So because we see nowadays that in Malaysia settings, the fish sector is monitored by the fish ministry probably, then water supply by water supply department, and then there's like forest by the forestry ministry. So they have like different, maybe like planning on that different sector. So if only like the forest, if only like the water supply is only focused on preserving the river, for example, but then the forest is not, lots of deforestation, lots of logging activities, it's going to cause river pollution, even though the river department itself basically helps to preserve on that. So it's basically like needs some integrated ways on managing this, so that the conservation and preservation of the river much more better.
So it all plays its part, right? And it does have its impacts. Thank you so much for sharing your insights with me on the show. That's all the time we have, but it's been a pleasure having you on. I've been speaking to Ameyra Hashim from Kelab Belia Prihatin and Muhammad Aiman Akmal Shahhiran from Water Warriors. This has been It's About Youth with me, Faye Kwan. Thanks and see you next time.